had a conversation with someone the other day about, that just like modern times and all this. Who's going to fight the wars?
Yeah.
Right? Who is going to put freaking black paint on their face and pick up a weapon and crawl across the beach and start killing enemy? Like, that's a certain type of human being, right? That's the type of human being that may not correctly reintegrate into society. This dude might end up robbing banks when he gets back. But
it's the Martin Watson problem.
Yeah, it's the Martin Watson problem, which we'll get to. But we do have to think about that. And when you have guys, we talked about obedience as a characteristic being, look, is it good to have some obedience? Yes, it is. And was Darby maybe too far on the spectrum of being too obedient? Yes. But then you get some other guys that are on the other end of the spectrum that you want. You want to have someone that's going to be like, hey, I don't care what you tell me to do. I'm going to go attack this machine gun nest. Get out of my way. You want to have some guys like that. They're hard to control. But if you get rid of these guys, if you get rid of the Charles Shunstroms and the Watsons, you get rid of those guys, your military is not going to be able to function, in my opinion.
It's not going to be able to win.
It's okay. Yep, you're right. It's going to be able to function, probably going to be able to function very effectively in a peacetime environment.
So my question, you've commanded these guys. What's the answer? How do you take the strengths of a Shunstrom or a Watson, but how do you make sure that they don't go off the rails? Yeah,
what you have to do is you have to put the guardrails in place, and you have to. And it's not. Here's the interesting thing about this. This isn't that hard. This isn't where you've got to be constantly monitoring every single thing that they do. You have a good relationship with your guys. Then when you say, hey, listen, here's the line, we're not crossing it. Guys go, yep, roger that. And they know you're not playing around. You haven't shown them where, hey, Jocko says this, but he doesn't really mean that. No, it's like, when I say something, this is what I mean. And this is what we're going to do. This is what we're not going to do. And look, I had guys that were definitely, actually, I want to have guys, just like I just said, I want to have guys that are going to say, hey, if I get the chance to do this in a hyper aggressive way, I'm going to do it. You give me a chance to kill the enemy, I'm going to do it. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm here for. That's why I was born. Dude, Tony Efrati. You know Tony Efrati? Tony was platoon chief in Charlie Platoon, Task Unit Bruiser. If he would do anything to be able to go out and kill the enemy. And he would also never cross the line of like, oh, okay, hey, we're not doing that. Cool. Then that's the line. And that's exactly what you want. And what, so the question that you posed to me, how do you do it? What you do is you have a good relationship with the guys. You explain to them what we can do, what we can't do, and then you explain why we can't do it. And there was, I used to go and brief the JOTC classes, the junior officer training classes, and
you briefed mine. Okay,
well, there you go. One of the things that I used to tell these guys was, hey, listen, when it comes to the rules of engagement, when it comes to the law of armed conflict, you have to not just do what you think is right. You have to do what you have to do, not just what you think is right, but what is legal. And here's the reason. And Leif had to have this conversation. Leif had a senior officer in the room when I was explaining this to these young guys like yourself, that what people think is right. What you take 16 SEALs and you give them a case example of, is this right in your own personal moral code? You're going to get 16 different answers. You're going to get somebody that says, oh yeah, this person's an insurgent, we'll kill him. Or this person's an insurgent, oh well, we shouldn't hurt him because we can reform him. You're going to have all these kind of wild different answers. So the only thing you can actually follow isn't what an individual quote thinks is right. You have to follow what is actually legal. And I always made that very clear with my guys. Hey, listen, this is what you can do. This is what you cannot do. And here's why. And of course, in any leadership situation, it's important to explain the why. And, for instance, in Ramadi, there was a bunch of reasons why you can't go out and shoot an innocent person. Well, first of all, yeah, it's morally wrong. Second of all, everyone would know about it immediately. So it's not like I could have a sniper going, oh, I'll sneak in a shot over here and no one's going to know. No, we're in a city with 400,000 Iraqi civilians there's a mayor, there's a police force, there's a governor, there's teachers and doctors inside that city. You kill an innocent civilian, everybody's going to know about it. And by the way, all those Iraqi government officials, they have relationships with the brigade commanders, with the battalion commanders, with the company commanders. We're all talking. So if you think, I'm going to shoot some innocent person and get away with it, you're never going to get away with it. It's not happening. And on top of that, we are now losing the war. When you go out and kill an innocent civilian, you're giving propaganda to the enemy. And you're creating more insurgents by killing an innocent person. So you have to not just explain, hey, legally you can't do this, but also here's why you can't do it.